Welcome back to my channel, brothers and sisters. It's good to see you again. Tech outages have gripped global industry. Another sign of the changing world. What was once irrefutable technological supremacy when it came to all things Western? Without a doubt, they were able to dominate the world, right? Now, all of these things are collapsing and crashing in on themselves. One tech scandal after another involving food, involving Boeing and all the planes that keep falling out of the sky, and NASA's inability to build any functional rocket. They have to continuously delay their launches, and recently Elon Musk little challenges. And what we are now witnessing, of course, is the over-reliance on Western standards and Western products, where people around the world told themselves that this one company was capable of securing their systems from all things cyber threat, when in reality, it created the greatest vulnerability: centralization. And as Africans who are entering the coding space, whether you are South African, Kenyan, Ghanaian, you must be wary of these things, because these are the things that we are creating our own programming institutions for, is it not? So that we can create our own programs and softwares that have to rely on Western countries, and therefore not be part of their mess when they find themselves in challenges just like this. So this one company called crowdfunding, if you did not already know, you probably already know, it's everywhere, right? Blue screens of death. Blue screen of death is when your computer shuts down and enters a boot loop where it cannot escape. It's constantly rebooting and it's stuck in a loop. And you will hear more about it, but the CEO has some words to say. And it's funny because these South African companies who rely on these rather than our own developers found themselves on the receiving end of these blue screens of death. And with it are the economic losses thereof. Ridiculous, right? Because banks were frozen, hospitals unable to conduct elective surgeries, news networks unable to broadcast, airplanes and airlines shut down, grounded. They had to revert to doing everything by hand like they used to in the old days. Without further ado, let's get into it. See what he had to say. The title of the video: CrowdStrike CEO. We know what the issue is and are resolving it. This was about July 19th, yesterday.
We're now joined by the founder and CEO of CrowdStrike, George Kurtz. George, it's good to see a lot of people woke up. They saw that blue screen of death. We've been hearing all about the messes at the airports. A lot of broadcast channels, Australia, even ours here. We had those blue screens everywhere. People are wondering what happened. So what did happen?
Yeah, so first, thank you for giving me the opportunity to chat with you first on air. And I want to start with saying we're deeply sorry for the
System unable to recover properly.
impact that we've caused to customers, to travelers, to anyone affected by this, including our companies. So we know what the issue is. We're resolving and have resolved the issue now. It's recovering systems that are out there. And essentially, as you've talked about, and the statement I put out is, the system was sent an update, and that update had a software bug in it and caused an issue with the Microsoft operating system. And we identified this very quickly and remediated the issue.
But the point, of course, being it didn't matter because the update was already out there. So day by day, as countries around the world are waking up into the business hour, they found themselves unable to access their systems. Normally, you would expect that sort of a thing from a global cyber attack of some sort, but it came seemingly from the inside. The very company that these corporations rely on to keep their systems safe. But what simple apology can fix the amount of financial losses that are about to take place?
Systems come back online as they're rebooted, they're coming up and they're working, and now we are working with each and every customer to make sure that we can bring them back online. But that was the extent of the issue in terms of a bug that was related to our update.
Mr. Kurtz, it's Savannah here in Milwaukee. I mean, you're in the cybersecurity business, and I certainly don't even pretend to understand this, but according to your statement, it was a single content update that has managed to shut down air travel, credit card payment systems, banks, broadcast, street lights, 911, emergency, around the globe. Why?
Does that not sound like the 2000 Y2K threat? Who were afraid that the new millennium was gonna be the arrival of a total societal collapse. Seems like it happened in 2024. Among all the chaotic things that are happening in these days, it's just incredible, ladies and gentlemen.
Why is there not some kind of redundancy or some sort of backup? How is it that one single software bug can have such a profound and immediate impact?
Well, when you look at the complexity of cybersecurity, you're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries.
Looks like his throat experienced a little bit of blue screen of death right there.
Excuse me. Man.
And I think it's because she made the list of all the things that have been shut down because of this one little update. A non-cybersecurity attack, also referred to, I suppose, as a malicious software update. And of course, I make this video for those of us who are in the IT space and are studying coding in one way or another. How curious is it that the most advanced technologies globally are this vulnerable? That while they talk about the threat coming from the outside, in reality, cybersecurity centralization was the threat. When every company in the world thought the one company was worth its salt, when in reality, all it takes to compromise that, or for them to make a mistake, and boom, everyone connected to the system was out.
1 second, please.
Oh yeah, take a drink of water.
That's right.
Sorry.
I'm sure it's been a long night.
We're always trying. It's been a long night. We're always trying to stay one step ahead of the adversaries, and in this particular case, our systems are always looking for the latest attacks from these adversaries that are out there. So this content
Call is coming from inside the house there, buddy.
update went out, and as it does, and it's been doing for many, many years, obviously we've got a robust team that's looking at the safety and security and the quality of these updates, and we have to go back and see what happened here. But if there's a negative interaction with the way some of these operating systems work, in this particular case it was only the Microsoft operating system that was impacted, you'll see a reaction like this, and this is what we've seen here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people woke up and wondered if something nefarious was afoot, if this was some kind of a cyber attack. But you're saying that it was just something within your own system. So now, as we sit here,
I mean, which is worse? If it was a cyber attack or an oversight on their part? The people you trust to keep your network safe sent you a tiny little update and you were gone for a whole weekend. 3 business days for companies that work 7 days a week on a global scale. That's a lot of money. Ooh, that's a lot of money.
watching the news out of Australia, they were trying to get their television stations back on the air, their hospital software back up and running, the banks going. How long does it take to get everything back up and running?
The procedure to manually reboot these systems is next level. Because you cannot do it from remote location.
Well, yeah, first and foremost, again, just to reinforce what you said, it wasn't a cyber attack. You know, it was related to this this content update. And as you might imagine, we've been on, with our customers all night and working with them. Many of the customers are rebooting the system and it's coming up, and it'll be operational because of we fixed it on our end, and some of the systems that aren't recovering, we're working with them. So it could be some time for some systems.
Listen. The point is, your company clearly represents a global vulnerability when it comes to tech security. What if aliens wanted to attack? How simple would it be to just send one little virus and take out all the networks connected to the handful of cybersecurity companies who manage the likes of Apple, Sky News? You take out the hospitals, you take out the media, you take out the 911 calls. I mean, wow.
Systems that just automatically won't recover. But it is our mission, is why we're here, to make sure that every customer is fully recovered, and we're not going to relent until we get every customer back to where they were, and we continue to protect them and keep the bad guys out of their systems.
Things ain't never going to be the same, are they, after this? I mean, you'd be lying to yourself and pretending that you can go back to business as usual after recognizing this huge systems vulnerability. An over-reliance on the handful of cybersecurity companies globally has left the whole network vulnerable. And the corporations that will rather choose Western companies rather than their own local developers, at the very least, you would have had security in diversity. There is no one way of writing a program. That's rule number one. That's how your professor knows you cheated. So, yeah, we need to support our own local developers and hope that an army of people who wrote the same security system 100 different ways will lead to a system where no one way of hacking will ever work, because there will never be the same system.
Did you ever think, Mr. Kurtz, that you could experience something like this? I mean, does the breadth of this surprise you?
I'm sure it does.
Well, when you
It caught everyone off guard.
look at software, it is a very complex world, and there's a lot of interactions, and always staying ahead of the adversary is certainly a tall task. So these sort of things, obviously, you try to understand and mitigate them. And in some cases, you have a weird interaction, and it didn't seem like it happened on every Windows system. There's different versions and flavors and patch levels, if you will, and we're just trying to sort out where that negative interaction was. And again, that's what we're focused on, getting customers back up and running.
And the most incredible and strange thing is, our auto updates has been off for a minute. And yeah, just switched it off a couple of days ago. I was like, hey, yeah.
CrowdStrike CEO George Kurtz, we appreciate you coming on the air so quickly after this happened and explaining your company's point of view.
But the reality remains. This reveals such a vulnerability, it is unlikely that companies will ever ignore it and go back to the way things used to be. I sure as shit wouldn't. Decentralize our cybersecurity family. Rely on an army of developers rather than peddling the same code globally. This is the type of problem it causes. When you centralize your network, just compromise the one thing and the whole system shuts down. I'm your host, MODISE The High King. Let me know what you think of the video in the comments below, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Stay royal. Peace.